So over the last 2 weeks, I've been making my way through the Final Destination franchise. I have now seen all five of them, so it's the perfect time to rank them all. So going into this franchise, the only thing I knew was the premise of someone's able to skip death and then death comes back to get them. Other than that, I knew absolutely nothing about it. I didn't know which movies people love, which movies people hated. So this is 100% my own personal ranking with no one else's opinions coming in on top of me. But before I give you my personal ranking, make sure to let me know your ranking in the comment section down below. Which ones do you love? Which one do you hate? Let me know all that in the comment section down below. But with all that said, let's go on to number 5. And coming in last place, I've got The Final Destination or Final Destination 4, whatever you want to call it. I went into this movie kind of having expectations where, okay, so far these movies have been good. Let's see what happens with the fourth movie. I thought it was a bit weird that they called it The Final Destination instead of Final Destination 4. But then the first, like the big incident, the big accident happens at the start at the NASCAR race, I think they called them. And it was horrible in the fact that it looked terrible. Not like, oh my god, those poor people, they're probably in there dying, but literally the whole setting, the whole CGI, everything about it just looked really cheap, really poor, really just looked horrible as it is. All the characters in this, I actually didn't give a crap. They could have all died at that NASCAR race and I wouldn't have cared if that was just the end of the movie right there, because I couldn't give a crap about any of them whatsoever. One guy in particular, complete asshole, probably the biggest dick in this entire franchise, and he survived the NASCAR incident. And then the main guy who actually visions the incident at the start, throughout the entirety of the movie, he's able to vision people's deaths before it happens, and that really just takes away the kind of wondering of how this person's going to die, what's going to happen here. The fact that he's able to see it right before it happens really ruins all the fun. And it's not just at the start of the movie, since it progresses throughout the whole movie, I feel like all the tension has just been ripped out of this movie by him being able to do that as well. This movie was designed as a 3D movie, and you can really notice when I put the Blu-ray in at first, it asked if I wanted a 2D version or the 3D version. I have a 2D TV, so I put the 2D version on, and because of it, a lot of stuff is just being thrown at you and it just feels odd watching it as a 2D movie. Overall though, it's a bad movie. And coming in number 4, I've got Final Destination 2. This movie is bigger than the first movie. They kind of go for bigger and more elaborate kind of death scenes. The actually Final Destination incident at the start of this movie is easily my second best in the entire franchise. Just the whole motorway, absolutely brutal opening scene. I think bringing back Claire Rivers, I think her character's name was, from the first movie. When she was first introduced, I was like, oh brilliant, so they're going to be bringing back characters from the movies prior. But then what they did with her character just really leaves like a bad taste in your mouth. She just doesn't fit with this movie whatsoever. I think I would have preferred if the boy from the first movie, the main guy, came back in this movie because I liked his character more. I just felt her character just didn't really work with the rest of the characters. Even the characters in this movie, none of them are standout. I feel like all the characters in this movie are just purely there just to be killed off in a brutal way. None of them are standouts whatsoever to me. As well, I think the tone of this movie is literally all over the place. One minute it's big comedy, next minute it's a very serious moment where someone's literally has got their head crushed or whatever. Just the tone all over the place. Now, this is number 4, but it's a big step up from number 5. I think if number 5 is down here, like 4 and upwards are up here, because I think honestly number 5 like maybe a half a star, 1 star, but I think the rest of them are all 3 stars and up in this franchise. And coming in third place, I've got the original Final Destination. A lot of people will probably have this at number 1 because what this movie does is set up a really good concept for a franchise moving forward. I think Tony Todd in this movie, even though he's not in it much and even moving forward in the franchise, he's even in it less, but I think he's such a welcome addition to the cast. One of my problems with this one is the fact that the actual big incident itself isn't as kind of out there and big as the way they are in the other movies, where in the other movies they actually show a lot of it happening. In this movie it's just the plane blows up, so it's not really as interesting. You don't really feel for the characters because you don't really see what's happening inside the plane. As well, our main lead in this movie is so dull, so boring. He feels like he's just reading out the lines. He doesn't feel like he's really bringing anything to the movie. But all the kind of the way you're going through it in this movie, going back to all the people who had survived, seeing how they die again in these gruesome ways, really, really good. Really sets up a really fantastic universe moving forward. And coming in at my runner-up is the Final Destination 3 I seen the poster and I looked at this movie and I'm thinking, okay, this is probably going to be a massive disappointment. This is probably going to be on the lower scale, but I actually was really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. One of the reasons I enjoyed this movie as much as I did is the cast. The characters in this movie are fantastic. They're easily the best characters in the entirety of the franchise. Probably the deaths that happen after the main death itself, after the big incident on the roller coaster, which I assume everyone, as soon as they get in the roller coaster, they have this immediate fear that the roller coaster is going to break up. So they took that and added it to the movie and made it even more terrifying because that's a fear everyone has. But after the roller coaster incident and everyone goes through and you get all the secondary deaths and everything after, they're probably the most horrible deaths of the entire franchise. Either getting the nail gun to the back of the head, or even probably the worst one I think is the two girls who were in the tanning boots who then burned to death. Absolutely horrible. This movie I think is a lot of fun. I think the Final Destination movies work as a whole when the people who go through the incident know each other before the incident. I think 2 and 4 suffer from this problem where they don't actually know each other, so they're meeting each other after the incident. I think it's when they're friends beforehand and then the incident happens. I think it works a lot better that way. And coming in first place, my favourite of the Final Destination franchise is Final Destination 5. Going into it, my expectations were in the toilet after watching the fourth one, and I was absolutely blown away. Not only, and this is probably the best thing about the movie, they got Todd Packer, who also works for a paper company. If you see The Office, you get why that's pretty cool. But I actually think the actual incident itself is the best in the franchise. It's so elaborate, and I'm surprised they didn't think about doing a bridge collapsing before they even thought about the roller coaster or even the NASCAR race scene. I thought the bridge would have came before them, but the bridge itself, it's so elaborate. There's so much happening, and the way people die on this bridge is horrible. Not only the way they die on the bridge, but when they die outside, even the kills, they're so like elaborate and so brutal. The way this movie connects into the first movie was something that I predicted halfway through, but I just, when the way it tied in, I didn't feel like it was slapping us in the face, letting us know what happened. I think it kind of bled into the first movie really, really well. And I just thought as a whole, not only did I enjoy the characters, not as much as the third movie, but I did enjoy the characters and the way this movie wraps up before the way it wraps up. But the final battle between friends, really enjoyed it. Honestly, I was really, really shocked at how much I enjoyed the Final Destination 5. So that's my ranking of the Final Destination franchise. Make sure to let me know your ranking in the comment section down below. Which ones you love, which ones you hate. Let me know all that in the comment section down below. Do you agree with my ranking? Again, let me know that in the comment section down below. If you want to see more horror rankings from me, I'll leave links right up here at the end of the video. So if you want to see more horror content from me, there's 2 awesome videos right here you're probably going to want to watch. But as always, thanks for watching.